So here's my deal with Georgia. If they were to lose to LSU, what else happens? Because you could have Oregon, if they lose this game to Utah, they can lose the Civil War to Oregon State. They would have 4 losses. They might not be ranked. And we have held on to that Georgia-Oregon game since week 1. So I think Georgia would be up against it because their resume wouldn't look that. The SEC East is not good. It's not good. You got Georgia, you got Tennessee. That's it. South Carolina, not good team. Florida, you could have them. You know, you go down the list. Kentucky is not even close to what they were in years past. So that's the scenario that everybody's like, Georgia's in, Georgia's in. I guess so, because that would make Tennessee move down a notch. But then Tennessee went to Baton Rouge and gave it to them. So I don't know how they're going to decipher this. It's happened a couple years back in the old BCS. The computers ended up leaning towards Oklahoma with Sam Bradford when there was the, triangle of losses among the top 3 teams. So you have that in the SEC. The committee has to be begging for LSU not to win the SEC, because that you want mayhem, it starts right there.
Steve, do you have your locks?
Sort of. Is that a trapper keeper?
Not on my end.
Nah.
Okay.
Where?
All right.
Here? It's a notebook.
Yeah. No, I thought it was a trapper keeper.
Notebook.
That would have been something.
It currently says
Bring it
minus dollars is what my little notebook says.
Really?
Yeah.
On the year? I'm proud of you. I really am. You're in the arena. You're a man in the arena. You know?
Some young lady just came through. It's more like the moment.
Okay.
Hey now.
Some young lady, a tennis player. Last night you said you were done gambling.
I know.
You said you retired for good.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you, Macon, for swinging this year, for taking a swing, for being a man in the arena.
Thanks. I'm wondering, here's what's going through my head right now. I'm wondering about, because we put this pot out right away, I'm wondering about when I walk out of the building and text you, hey.
Well, we put it out tomorrow morning.
Okay, tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I've got all night to text you to say, hey, we got to cut those first few minutes.
Sure. But why would you want to?
It's not a bad year. I'm having a fine year.
Yeah.
It's just the volume. There's a lot of volume.
You want to see what the WinBet account said after this weekend? Look at this right here. That number.
Please confirm.
The first one.
I don't quite know what it means. Does that mean
the one with the plus before it?
like that means you won that?
Yeah, this weekend.
Jesus Christ.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a good weekend.
So speaking of
money, can I have money?
Speaking of American currency.
Yeah. Okay. White Steve is here.
Hey, Steve.
Gentlemen.
What's up, buddy? You got some Auburn gear on today.
Cadillac.
Yes, sir. Cadillac.
We love Cadillac Williams. You know I play with Cadillac Williams?
Really?
Yeah, in St. Louis.
I forgot he went there.
Yeah, well, most people get forgotten when they go to St. Louis. You know?
Did you see the scene of Jordan Hare after the A&M game? It was pretty sweet.
He's awesome. He's legitimately one of the best dudes ever.
Yep.
Just great to have in a locker room.
Yep.
And it's no surprise to me that he's a great coach too, or at least a coach that people love.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see. Does he? I mean, he doesn't have any shot of keeping that job, right, Steve?
I don't think so. I think Auburn's a tremendous job. Now, you got to deal with a lot when you're down there because it does feel like the inmates run the asylum a lot of the times, and the inmates make their voices heard down there, which makes it just a chaotic place. But when you
Steve,
think
you're talking about the boosters down there?
Yeah. You know, the alums.
Mm-hmm.
So
War down.
I still think, I mean, you look what Auburn's done, and I think what makes people so crazy down there is what they're up against every year in state because of Nick Saban. So what have they been able to do? They've played in national title games. They've won a national title, you know, in 2010. So the possibility is there, but it's a lot to handle. And I just think a new AD comes in. I don't think you could give that job to a guy that doesn't have any head coaching experience. Now, I think if I'm one of these lower tier schools, I'm definitely looking at what, Cadillac has done with the program in a couple weeks. And everyone brings back the same word all the time when you talk about Cadillac Williams, and it's authentic. And that's what's really, really cool to see. And, he doesn't pull any punches. And, when he's doing things, I was listening to our guy Cole Kubelik talk. He did the game. He did the interviews with Cadillac, and he talked about the pregame. And he asked about his kicking situation because their kicker was out. He's like, hey, what do you think the range is for your backup kicker? And Cadillac was like, I don't know. He's like, I got to get out there. I don't know. I've never seen him kicking a game. He's like, I got to get out there pregame and see how he's kicking it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a night game. The wind might be blowing, but it was just honest. Yeah. And it was just cool to hear that kind of things. And I just think what's really, really cool is you saw how many of his former teammates, players come back for what probably is his last chance to ever win an SEC game as a head coach of Auburn. And that was really cool. The scene was something to see, and I was happy for those guys down there that I'm friends with.
Who do you think, not to bury Cadillac here, but who do you think takes that job?
I don't know. I think it's got to be somebody that has SEC experience because of the division you play in. I mentioned what you're up against every week in state, knowing what's across the state, and is it a better job than Ole Miss? I think it is. But now when you look at jobs, people take better jobs differently.
Yes.
There's a lot less pressure at Ole Miss for Lane Kiffin if he were to be mentioned along with these things, at Auburn. So I think it's a guy that's had to have been a head coach and had to have SEC experience. So that kind of limits the list, but that's why these ADs get paid all this money, man. Yeah. I'm sure they've been working it. That's why they got rid of Harsin to get this search train going. But I honestly I don't know, because the Harsin hire was as unpredictable a hire as we've seen in the sport in the last, throw the 10, 20 years. So I don't know what to expect there, and it's just a wait and see for me.
Hugh Freeze.
Wow.
Lynchburg, Virginia.
Yeah, well, he's looking to make a move soon.
Whoa.
That dude was feeling himself after that BYU game.
Yeah.
He was like, I was watching that late night Liberty show, which is great. Love that show.
I hate that show.
Sometimes, no, I like the show.
I hate that freaking show, man.
But it's like Liberty TV, and he's like, I don't want to toot my horn here, but I do want to say that was probably the best game plan that I've ever created.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't usually say things like this, but what a fucking great job I did.
Yeah, and they lost to UConn.
Yeah.
Well, that's our guy up there.
Lost to Jim Mora.
I got a question about Auburn. Where's Auburn without Cam Newton this century? I mean, don't we? I feel like somebody who's not in SEC country, it's hard for me to figure like the contemporary Auburn, like is that program a great program? Is it?
I think so.
Yeah,
I do. Have you ever been there?
No, I'm just saying what they've done on the field. They've been in a ton of bowl games.
National championship
after him.
Yeah, last BCS. They were on the cusp of a title, a playoff berth in 2017 because they beat Bama. And then they come back and they got to play Georgia in the SEC title game. They beat Georgia 3 weeks earlier in a rematch. They're obviously banged up from the Iron Bowl, and they lose that game. And Georgia gets into the playoff and loses in the title game. So I still think they're – and that's what I still am blown away, the success that they've had. Now, it's been quick spurts, and there's been some really down years. The year after or 2 years after, I think they won the title in 12. I remember being in Oklahoma, and it was Notre Dame, Oklahoma, and that was the year Notre Dame went to the title game, and checking scores, and that was when Manziel was at A&M. I think Manziel was up like 35-0 at the end of the first quarter. It's like, This team less than 2 years ago won a national championship, and now they're going winless in the SEC. So it's amazing how when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad.
Yeah.
And you've seen the bad. It's a lot of fluctuation, Chris. And I think you're used to a little more normalcy and regularity. Where there's some consistency, and that's not Auburn. So it is hard to digest with what goes on down in the Plains. But it's an awesome place. Maybe that's our road trip next year. We go down to the Plains for a game.
Yeah, I'd love that. I would love that. I mean, they are very. There's a wide range of results for Auburn. Like since I've been an adult watching Auburn play, and it's just I'm not sure how to think of that job and that program. I mean, like obviously great amount of respect for him, but yeah.
Hugh Freeze. So before Liberty lost UConn, was that BYU?
I think BYU was.
I think there was a win in between there.
He had two
they were
big
winning.
wins.
They were winning.
Yeah.
And so he told this to 24/7 Sports. And granted, he's asked the question, but his quote was, "I don't know that Auburn wants me. I have no clue. I know this. I have won everywhere I've been, and my staff and kids have turned programs fast. It's our culture that we instill. I know we do that, and the proof is in the pudding." That is not love where I am. No comment.
Yeah.
That is, I want the Auburn job.
That's Terry McLaurin on Midnight Sports Center breaking down whether or not Carson should start or Heineke could start. I mean, he gave 100 words on Steve. He gave 100 words on Heineke and 7 on Carson.
I'll take the over on 100.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And hey, how about him finishing that interview with the complimenting Scott?
Yeah, just basically taking my job whenever he wants. Scott just giving it up to him.
Yeah, no question. Loves that guy.
No, I could talk for an hour about Terry McLaurin. Let's
keep you on. We'll keep you on target.
We'll get that in the NFL.
Really scary, Terry, for you.
Yeah, really scary. Yeah, he should be sitting right there. Can I get a taller chair? All right, so. Yeah, let's talk about the SEC. Let's talk about the playoff. Let's talk about the two teams that kind of – the way I see it is the two teams control their own destiny, really, or you could argue some other teams might, but like Georgia and Ohio State are the teams that are most likely to be in the playoff and probably most likely to win out. Obviously, Georgia has they don't have their big rivalry game in Michigan coming up, but – these two teams play respectively, Georgia at Kentucky this weekend and Ohio State at Maryland. Which matchup is more of a landmine for these teams? Either?
Neither. Next question.
Yeah. It's just so
what about Dorsey, Michigan, and Illinois?
I'm actually interested in that because when we looking at that game, breaking it down this week, Illinois, a couple brutal losses the last couple weeks, and 2 weeks ago was the one that was really eye-scratching. And then going back and watching it, I think they had 3 or 4 turnover on downs in plus territory, and it was just weird. Like it was just setting themselves up to lose that game to Michigan State, and then they followed up against Purdue, who comes out and runs the option with a drop-back quarterback and Aiden O'Connell. So when you look at Illinois, they do lead. And my question when we did the show last night was, will Michigan have to throw the ball in order to win this game? Because Illinois is number 3 in scoring points per game on defense, and Michigan's 1. Illinois has been really good against the run. And I just wonder if that defense travels. This is their Super Bowl. They sort of have a chance for the Big Ten West, which every other team in that side of the division
the whole
does,
damn
besides
conference.
Northwestern. I'm really interested because people that love the look ahead spots, that I think they're going to be on Illinois here because of what lies ahead for Michigan next week. But I just want to see Illinois. Bielema in this spot. He's been awesome as an underdog in his career in this league, and I think they could cause some problems. So I really want to see the versatility of Michigan's offense, if there is any. You go back and everybody's going to talk about their resume. I mean, you got to put them in the control of their own destiny because they are playing Ohio State.
Yeah, but there ain't no resume to this point. Their strength of schedule, I think, is like 82.
No, but if they beat Ohio State and win the Big Ten, they're in.
Yes, for sure. They do control their destiny, but Ohio State's going to be favorites in that game. Yeah, what do you guess that line at?
I saw 7.
So Illinois is catching like 18,
18.
in Arbor, so that feels
over-under is like 42.
41. That's an NFL total. Like
That's Jets Pats.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Minus the spread.
Yeah. So I kind of how about this in the Big Ten West? Is there any team that could give the winner of Ohio State Michigan trouble in the Big Ten championship?
I'm thinking Iowa is going to be the team that wins the West. So, listen. I've watched that Ohio State first half against Iowa like 4 times. They gave it to Ohio State. They really did in that first half, and turnovers just killed them with their offense. So I think that's going to be the team. They played Michigan. They played Ohio State. It's not pretty because of their offense, but who the hell knows in a rematch, man? Like, that defense will show up. They do an awesome job with spacing, but I can't.
So here's my chaos model.
Oh, I got
chaos
one for
model.
You too.
Okay,
you go first.
Oh boy.
Okay. Well,
double chaos models.
I would just love it if all the Big Ten teams just got fucked here.
Well, okay, I'll go one step further.
Yeah.
TCU's got Miller Lite. Nice. Stanford Steve.
Yeah,
nice.
that's good.
TCU's got
Never too early.
1.5 difficult games left. All right. TCU can be out. USC's got 3 difficult games left. Clemson loses to Carolina. Ohio State beats Michigan and loses to an Iowa type.
Mm-hmm.
All SEC Final Four.
I don't like that.
Georgia,
that's not chaos.
Tennessee, LSU
That's not
beats
chaos.
Georgia.
That sucks.
Alabama. Oh, it would suck, but it would be chaos, and it won't happen. It can't happen.
It's not going to happen.
Could happen.
But listen, here's one interesting thing. What's the big fucking difference between USC and UNC to date? I know USC can finish the job and have a really impressive resume, especially down the stretch here, and they got a great quarterback and that sort of thing, and they're talented. But UNC, who like
all they do is win.
All they do is win. That's a nice way to put it. They have a similar resume and a lot of similarities. It feels like UNC and Clemson, for that matter, and they should be, have been written off because of the conference they play in this year.
Yeah, and I think we talked last week just about the idea of what Notre Dame's done to the ACC. You know, when Syracuse was, the hot team, they went there and gave them a dose. They went to Chapel Hill, gave them a dose, and then they really gave Clemson a dose on their home field. So I think that really hurts the perception. And now Notre Dame goes to USC to end the season. So that's a dynamic. I'm with you. Scott and I talked on our pod this week. Who's the most valuable player in college football? Heisman aside, just the most valuable. I think it's Caleb Williams with SC, just because I've watched them. I would guess more than the average person, and what's on his plate every single snap and in every single game, knowing how bad that defense is pretty incredible. So I'm fascinated to see what SC does, because if they run the table, they're getting in. I don't care what happens to any other team. You're going to look at that resume; it's going to be pretty darn good. And if they do that, he's going to probably win the Heisman too.
Yeah, I mean. He's second in line right now behind Stroud.
Corum's up there too, I think.
Yeah.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Steve.
Hey, Macon.
If LSU beats Georgia, which probably won't happen, LSU or Tennessee for you, if the others hold serve up top.
Here's the scenario that I'm going to give you that I haven't heard anywhere. Okay, Hear me out here. Oregon got beat by Washington, right?
Yes,
right.
Confirmed.
Okay. Besides the Tennessee win for Georgia, what's their next biggest win? The blowout win against Oregon week 1. So here's my deal with Georgia. If they were to lose to LSU, what else happens? Because you could have Oregon, if they lose this game to Utah, they can lose the Civil War to Oregon State. They would have 4 losses. They might not be ranked. And we have held on to that Georgia-Oregon game since week 1. So I think Georgia would be up against it because their resume wouldn't look that. The SEC East is not good. It's not good. You got Georgia, you got Tennessee. That's it. South Carolina, not good team. Florida, you could have them. You go down the list. Kentucky is not even close to what they were in years past. So that's the scenario that everybody's like, Georgia's in. I guess so, because that would make Tennessee move down a notch, but then Tennessee went to Baton Rouge and gave it to them. So I don't know how they're going to decipher this. It's happened a couple years back in the old BCS. The computers ended up leaning towards Oklahoma with Sam Bradford when there was the triangle of losses among the top 3 teams. So you have that in the SEC. The committee has to be begging for LSU not to win the SEC, because that you want mayhem, it starts right there. And I got to feel like their odds are pretty good. That's not going to happen, seeing that line posted this week of Georgia minus 16 against LSU.
Is this a week to bet, let's say, all right, I don't know. I'm looking at Tennessee. They're going to play SC this weekend. They want to make that look as good as possible, right? Is this a good week to bet Tennessee?
I'm with you there. And here's the thing with USC and TCU. If they keep winning, their resume is going to improve, and they're also going to be in front of everybody's eyeballs. Tennessee, they got South Carolina and Vandy left. That's it. Those games aren't going to be watched.
Oh, you got hiccups. I might have to give you a damn because of that Miller Lite.
No, that was just one. No, you know what I do have? Look at that.
Oh, look at that. Chris Long.
Autograph.
You texted me that last night, and what did I say?
That poor rookie.
I said, I feel sorry for that kid. I wish somebody else drafted him.
Look at the Mohawk making.
Wow.
Yeah, all it just brings back is bad memories.
That's all they give you.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Earth City.
Is that still your signature?
It's not great. Greg Williams used to be like
a C, an H, and an L.
You got the worst fucking signature. You ever seen Michael Jordan sign his autograph? That's why he's like good. That's not true.
C. It looks like a C, lowercase L.
It's a C-H long. Yeah, whatever, man.
What's nice though, Steve, is that it's easily forgeable.
Howie Long, he takes 17 seconds to write his signature.
It is gorgeous.
It's gorgeous, but here's the thing. He's not signing as many autographs for me. He must be turning them down. There's no way. I used to stay at practice, sign 100 autographs.
That is true.
So that's an everyman autograph. That means I got to get to the next little kid.
That's true.
My dad's like, only
all
a few.
I know is if my last name was Long, I would make that part of my signature.
Well.
That's all.
So, I got nothing for you.
Nevertheless.
So I like. How about Baylor TCU this weekend, and how about the people on First Take or whatever saying that TCU's hasn't played anybody? I mean, I feel like there's a little bit of brand bias here.
I've had TCU number 2 since about week 6.
Yeah.
I give them credit because I think the Big 12 doesn't get credit for how deep it is. There's no Vanderbilts in the Big 12. Kansas is going to a bowl game this year. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
And I look at what TCU did and watch that tape, Chris. If you want defense, go back and watch TCU's. And that's the thing. No one talks about their defense. They just manhandled Texas. And Texas is a team that's run the ball on everybody. They didn't do it last week. It's because of TCU brought the fight on the road in a big spot. And I give those guys a ton of credit, man. That they've gone out and answered the bell every single week. Can they do it again this week? That's really interesting because I had Baylor last week, and that was a totally wrong side against Kansas State. So I'm not doubting TCU. I'm done, but it does ring alarms because this is the ultimate, not trap game, but do you have anything? How much energy did you expend in that 17-10 win against Texas? Even though you didn't give up a touchdown because Texas had a fumble return for 6. So it's fascinating. It's going to be awesome to watch. I do think TCU's offense poses problems for Baylor's secondary, which is not Baylor's strength at all.
I worry about Iowa State and then K-State again too. It's not quite USC's Final 3, but it's not far from it.
And I haven't really watched Iowa State. I don't know.
They're just they're one of those teams.
You know exactly what Iowa State is.
Yeah.
Matt Campbell.
Exactly.
You know what? You know what Matt Campbell's doing right now?
What?
He's taking a step back win-loss wise this year.
Yeah.
Which is what Tony Bennett did right before he came to Virginia.
So
Still have him on all your lists.
Yeah.
Hire Matt Campbell. Still hire Matt Campbell.
No question. Buy low, dude.
Yes.
I wanted to hire Matt Campbell. I don't care what he did around here. I would hire him to be fucking whatever. He
Tony
can
Bennett
co-host the pod. No offense.
No,
Matt Campbell, I just like him.
He'll be really.
I still remember Macon didn't want Tony Bennett. I'm the one that remembers that.
Wow. Really?
No, not really.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's a joke. Like I want my name on the podcast. Think I want my name on this podcast?
Bet you it's in that notebook. I bet you he has his thoughts about when that opening came. Those thoughts are in that notebook.
Let's look at the 12-team playoff thing because this is fun. This is what we would have coming up.
The 4 teams with byes: UGA 1, Ohio State 2, TCU 3, USC 4. We're anticipating an Ohio State victory over Michigan. All right, and then we got Alabama, Clemson. Alabama's through to play Georgia. Michigan, UCF. We got the Golden Knights through to play USC.
I just want to see teams. I want to see warm weather teams having to go play cold weather teams. That's what I want to see.
Here's what's awesome.
12 teams would be fun.
I've been going against all these people saying that the 12 team will go take away from the big games in the regular season.
Please.
I totally disagree because you're going to have teams playing for those buys and those home. That first round's going to be at home.
Yes.
How awesome is that?
Yes.
That is so good. Just because of the idea you said of cold weathers, having to go to warm weather and warm weather going, and then a Florida school maybe having to go to the West Coast. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Come on out of the SEC country.
It is awesome.
Utah at LSU.
I don't know, and maybe some of these weird matchups would give us some clarity on where these programs are a little bit more than what you know coming out of the season as it is. I mean, I don't know.
It'd be cool to see Utah go lose to Florida week 0 or 1, and then go to Baton Rouge and win a game.
Yeah, I mean,
get better.
There's the thing in the NFL, teams change. You can throw the last matchup out the window, and I don't know how different it is.
Because that's how I gamble on sports.
Well, I mean,
I should start zagging on the last matchup.
Yeah, I think about. I mean, the last matchup's great and everything, but when a team sees somebody in the regular season, they see them in the playoffs. It's not always the same. It just teams evolve through the year, and football is played differently in December and in January than it is in September, and so I do think it'd be interesting to see some of these rematches and that sort of thing. But that's for another year. It's 4 right now, and so we argue about all this shit.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're on the side of USC if it wins out over Tennessee because they're not going to be able to shine.
Yes, and conference championships are going to matter. We've seen these predicaments play out, and when it's a one loss versus a conference champion, that conference champion has gotten it.
I'm going to be disrespectful. I think TCU stumbles. All right, you heard.
I can see that.
Not.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
I hope not. So the 4th team in would probably be USC if they win out. Yeah.
But that's going to be. Is UCLA going to quit though? Because they were right in this mix, and that was a rough one. Jaden DeLaura, Jed Fish.
We haven't talked about the Pac-12's depth. We have depth out there, and then everybody just looks down upon it when somebody gets upset. So it's a different dynamic, depending on the lens that you're looking through, Macon.
But UCLA will be up to ruin USC season. Yeah.
Let me ask you.
Without a doubt, I think UCLA should be favored.
Okay.
Let me ask you this, Steve.
Go ahead.
Georgia, is there anybody in that 4 spot that you actually give them a game? Is it a Tennessee rematch? Is it like what are the matchups that you would really want to see in the playoff this year? Because they've always been shit in the first round, especially.
Yeah, it's hard to. We don't want to see Georgia, Michigan because we saw it last year, right? I'd love to see Ohio State, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Michigan, Tennessee. Think about that uniform game.
Ooh, beautiful.
TCU, Tennessee.
Yeah. Yellow and orange.
Yeah, clashes a little bit.
A little bit.
USC, Michigan.
Where are the blue teams, for fuck's sake?
Michigan.
No, I'm talking about the true blue teams, not the fucking Navy. I'm talking about like the Kansas blue or the
like
Ole Miss
Duke?
powder blue or the Duke blue. There's never a blue team in this fucking thing, dude.
Carolina.
Yeah, no.
Lingering.
Is Royal Blue on the decline?
It is on the decline. Anyways.
Yeah. Very good observation.
I'm just
Bring back Royal Blue.
Bring it back, dude. There's not enough good teams in Royal Blue. In basketball,
when's the last time you wore a Royal Blue T-shirt?
Me?
Yo, check this shit out.
Oh, look at you.
Look at this.
Bringing it back.
Look at that.
What brand is that?
Gildan.
Look at this shit.
It's probably Gildan.
Look at this shit, Steve.
What's the decal? What's the emblem?
What are the chances? I don't
Duke?
No, it says Southbound 2005.
It says.
I think it was somebody's family reunion I picked up at a thrift, you know?
Oh, okay.
Times are hard.
So yeah, bring back blue. I feel like there's been a real all the fucking red teams every year.
Yeah, but we're doing better with it this year.
Okay.
And blue is taking purple. Red doesn't get purple. All right?
Yeah.
Blue claims TCU.
Okay.
Blue claims
I don't know about that. I don't know about that, dude.
Blue claims.
I don't know about that, dude. Or the green teams. When's the last time there was a fucking green team in the playoff? I'm sure it's happened relatively
North
recently.
Texas?
There's others.
Are there? Oregon.
I don't know.
Oregon.
Yeah, you're right. That was it. Okay. Let's give out Steve's awards. Who could forget? Not me.
Okay. We have history for the awards.
Oh, my goodness.
We are going to the defensive side of the ball for both awards.
Wow.
Are you ready?
Not a title
Conklin Award.
anymore.
Conklin Award this week, TCU linebacker Johnny Hodges, number 57, local kid, Darnestown, Maryland, Navy transfer, went to Austin, Texas, 11 tackles, 1.5 TFLs. Johnny Hodges, your Conklin Award winner. Watch the tape. The kid brought it. Awesome story. And we talked about TCU's defense earlier. I was blown away by their effort. And then also for the Timmy Chang Award, stay with the defense, Easton Gibbs from Wyoming. 13 tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFLs.
Jeez.
Wyoming beats Colorado State 14-13 to get the bronze boot.
Wow. Also, Johnny Hodges, American saxophonist. That's who came up first.
Interesting.
Yeah. What do you when you leave Navy? Are you like? Are you? Is that like? Is that not being patriotic?
Dishonorable
discharge. Dishonorable transfer.
I just look at it as like, oh my God, we could practice in the afternoon. I can sleep.
He probably thinks college football is a breeze, dude.
Oh my Lord,
a breeze. So, it's warm this time of year there too.
Easton Gibbs, a native of Temecula, California.
Correct.
Temecula.
More like Weston Gibbs.
All right, cool. All right, good. All right, you want to go locks here?
Do you want to go locks?
Not really, dude. I just can't catch a break on these fucking picks I'm giving out.
Update?
We're locked in at the top. Made the jump. He's at number 1. Went 2-1 last week. Steve, you're right behind him, and Chris is
5 games back.
Yep.
Oh,
so 6 actually,
6.
but
of Steve.
Okay.
So that's the last person you were talking to. But,
you know what's interesting from last week is that I had Houston, the Texans, at the Giants, and then I decided I didn't like it so much because the points dropped by 2, and so then I went opposite Steve, took the Titans against the Broncos. Titans ended up winning by a touchdown, and then you grabbed the Texans
for the second week in a row. Basically, took a pick that you chickened out on.
He won because of us.
I lost it. I fell on that grenade for you, but the only thing that matters to me is that number I showed you earlier.
But it's also that like the third week in a row, Chris, we get to this point talking about last week.
I'll take that number over winning this fucking contest, guys. I'm sorry.
You have to look at that shit grin on Macon's face. That's the worst part of this.
That's the only, but it helped for him to read his balance and then for me to show mine today. And that really makes me feel vindicated.
They wouldn't equal a 0?
The problem is I'm picking the wrong fucking games.
They could equal out to 0. Help out a friend.
What do you mean? No, I'm not helping a friend.
Donation.
It's like, for instance, fucking take the Niners, 6. 7, 6. It's like, what's going on here?
Hold on.
Hey, hold on a minute. Hey, hold on.
You were just seeing the ball better out in Las Vegas. That's what it was.
Well, in my defense, I don't know that
here we go again.
that you guys or anybody else really has the fortitude to wake up at 6 a.m. and start betting on tennis. Okay? I'm a grinder.
Yeah.
And I'm losing.
How's that working out for you?
Poorly.
Okay, so
Poorly.
the thing you're good at, you suck at betting, and right now I suck at this on Thursday.
Yeah. Yep.
So it's it just makes a lot of
All right,
sense.
so Chris, make your pick, and we'll all go opposite
Dallas.
Thursday Night Football.
Oh, I love
Dallas.
that pick. That's on my list.
Dallas. Oh, thanks, you condescending. Good for you. It's on my list as well. The current leader. You must be on it.
It's hard to see you down there from 6 picks.
Well,
6
listen,
picks
we have our Super Bowl hangover. You know,
Hey.
this is our Super Bowl hangover. We're like the Rams this year. You win a chip and it's tough sledding.
If I took 2 weeks off and you went undefeated both those weeks, we could be tied.
Yeah. If I gave you twice what you owe the WinBet app, that would be what I won this weekend.
The WinBet, it's not a credit situation. They take it up front.
No, I understand.
Gone. Yeah,
I understand. It's already gone.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dallas, do your
Okay.
worst.
Good pick. Steve,
Konnichiwa.
Steve, I
No,
guess
Macon,
second
you're
place is up. No, second place.
Macon, you're up.
I think it is based on the
Yeah, Steve, you're up.
the rankings. Steve.
Oh,
I hate to agree with this.
Go ahead.
What's the word?
Give me
I-
worse.
What is? I can't remember the word. There's an adjective.
We're friends.
Smug.
And I like you.
Smug fuck.
And smug fuck.
Just right
Can I-
now.
Okay. All right.
You know.
we're New England.
Okay.
-3 at home.
Yeah.
-3 at home against the Jets.
I'm glad I'm not giving that out because I am pulling for the Jets here. I don't want them to have to. I don't want to see that movie again. They
Okay.
deserve. I'd like to see them maybe win that division. That'd be fun because the Bills are giving it up, and they'd have to beat the Dolphins the second time. But I know a lot of Jets fans. I'm just pulling for these guys.
I've been on this team a few weeks, and they've rewarded me. I'll stick with them. Divisional game. A home dog is getting 4.5. The Pittsburgh Steelers hosting Cincinnati.
All right. Cincinnati is currently in its largest road favorite role at Pittsburgh since 1986. Over the last 5 seasons, Pittsburgh is 7-2 outright and 7-0-2 ATS as a home underdog.
Love it. Love it.
Go Bengals.
No, I do not root against you. I root for you.
Well,
I gas up
maybe
my guy. I root
maybe
for
if you weren't such a smug fuck, I wouldn't root against you. When I actually win stuff, I kind of celebrate it to myself, but it's like I don't. All right, who's up? Me. Mm-hmm. Last place guy. All right.
Take the Bengals.
I'm not. That would be fun.
Come on.
Go for it.
I thought that's why you said, let's go Bengals.
No, they just got T.J. Watt back. Steelers, the Bengals aren't that good. Wait, is Keenan Allen coming back at any point? Is Mike Williams coming back at any point?
I think Mike's got a shot.
Keenan, no shot.
Maybe. I only know about Mike because he's on my awful
It's
fantasy.
a lot of points. There's a lot of points at home.
Keenan participated in
A what?
individual.
What? In practice?
No, if
We
he
get-
participated, that means that he's
individual.
he's. All that means is that he did an
precipitated all
extra.
over
He
that.
participated twice. So Keenan participated in Indy, huh? I think
right, yeah.
I think he plays. I'm gonna get the line where it is 5.5. Fuck me running. They're gonna lose by 7. I'll take the Chargers catching a half point and make that 6. That's the dumbest shit in the world. I'm gonna lose by 7. You smug fucks.
Steve, you smug fuck. You're up.
I'm going to take the under in the Broncos-Raiders game. 41.5.
Okay.
Hope they score 70.
Smug fuck.
I'm at a point here where I'm not sure the team I'm going to take. I'm going to take. Somebody jump out at me. I'm going to take The New York Giants. 3-point favorites. It's half-point Wednesday, as we all know. It's going to be half-point Monday by the time the season's over. I'll make that 2.5 and take the Giants.
Okay.
I never take the Giants because it's always 13-13 in the fourth quarter. I'm taking the Giants. 2.5. Thank you.
Does that mean I'm up?
That's right.
And I'm at the point where I don't know who to pick. When in doubt, and I'll know who to pick by Sunday. I'll take the Ravens. Baker Mayfield's 0-5 against the spread against the Ravens.
Wow.
Look at him. Both his ears are working.
What's the line on the WinBet app currently?
The WinBet app currently says minus 13.
13.
Fuck, man.
All right. Is that official? Lock it in?
And it is. It's official that it's Baker Mayfield, right?
Yes.
He's playing.
Yes.
Yeah, give me the Ravens.
I really like that Dallas pick.
Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking long and hard about, though. The Packers. Short week.
Circled.
Christian Watson's fast all of a sudden. Aaron Jones was a beast the other night.
I'm going to take the Niners Monday night minus, what is it on the WinBet, 15?
It's 8. 8 points.
8. Favorites are 4-0 against the spread in Mexico City games all time.
Wow. Okay. All right. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
How should people at home play this blizzard in Buffalo? I think you just let that number torpedo and then take the over.
Currently at 42.
I bet it gets down to 40 or 39 by the end of the week, and then we hammer the over.
I've got to ask you guys about a game. I'll ask you about it right now because I'm not gonna take
Go
it.
ahead.
The Philadelphia Eagles are laying 6.5 in Indianapolis. Doesn't Philly win that game even without Goddard? Don't they win it by double digits even without Goddard? And
who warned you about the Commanders?
You did.
Okay. Linval Joseph is going to help. The Eagles just signed him. I don't know how many snaps they're going to get out of him, how ready he's going to be. But that run defense does worry me, and not having Dallas Goedert worries me a little bit. So I want the Eagles to roll here, and it feels like a place that they probably roll, and Indy's probably overvalued. But beware, dude. I don't know about that run defense, and I don't know about what they look like without Dallas Goedert. That's a big, big missing piece for them. So, if anything, I was looking at the under.
So, hold on. Something's got to give there, Chris, because the under is 14-3 in the Colts' last 17 games.
The under is, like, not great in Eagles games, right?
4 straight Eagles games have gone over.
Yeah, but no Dallas Goedert.
Colts games this year, 8-2 to the under.
New coach,
Could somebody put together a montage of what it takes to get this dude's picks out for the last 3
Yeah, I'm
guys
just
are just
fucking
bad.
We had him dressed up as Jesus.
Chris is just
We had him
as bad.
screaming his mouth off. Now he can't make a decision, and he's going to yellow pads and trapper keepers.
keepers.
Atlanta Falcons at home, -3
Ooh.
against the Chicago
Ooh, I
Bears. I
hate
don't like
that
it either. No, but
I don't like any of this shit. I'm so trained. These picks are not going to hit.
one of Atlanta or New York.
Chris just wants
is
a
going to
time
cover.
machine to Sunday where it's time to fire.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh's fine, so I'm going 2-1 this week. I'm going 2-1. It's fine.
You're like Steve Spagnuolo when we used to go 4-0 in preseason. You know? We're just in Thursday's preseason for us.
Hey, can you scroll up on that document so I can take a
How
picture
excited
of
did
this?
he used to get, Chris?
Oh, we're going to be so good. We're going to be so good. 4-0. Undefeated in the preseason. It's going to be great. Rescue me, somebody. Nope. Just going to spend like pretty much your whole career there. Nope. Yep. Gold pants. Yellow light bulbs in the Edward Jones Dome.
Here's a matchup for you.
Yeah.
1v1 matchup. Kevin O'Connell against expectations.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Buffalo and win the game. And
Did
now
you write that one down?
Yeah, I wrote it down. It's on my piece of paper here. And now you're at home, and you're a dog to the Dallas Cowboys, who just lost to, I guess it's kind of not really working with the whole expectations thing.
Are we still waiting for your third pick?
No, I said Atlanta.
Atlanta.
Good God.
The point stands. The Vikings don't lose football games. So how does he manage that with the old ball club? Really don't like that Atlanta pick.
I don't like my Baltimore pick.
Okay. Yeah, kind of like Carolina there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's who I should have taken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like my Baltimore pick. I really want to change it to I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to get waffle-itis here. We're just going to stick with our guns, and we're going to try to win bets Sunday. Okay, so that's that, guys. Helix Mattress.
Who's sleeping great?
I got one.
Go ahead.
Geno Smith, bye week, balled out this year, sitting on a nice contract. Geno Smith is sleeping really well.
His counterpart in Munich, Tom Brady. Week off. First place.
Yeah.
Empty house.
Yep.
Oh,
Hey, Steve, I want to float this for the 15th time this week because
Respectfully.
nobody seems to get it. Philadelphia Eagles send the New Orleans first-round pick to L.A. For Aaron Donald and some other stuff after this season.
Wow.
What do you think about that, Steve? If you were Les Snead, would you trade Jalen or would you trade Aaron?
They need a. What is that? What is it? We did it the other night. It's slotted number 5, right? Right now.
So it's a quarterback pick.
Yeah.
Would you do it
If I was the Rams,
if you were Les Snead?
Aaron's 31 years old.
Get that haul, baby. Send Aaron
Jalen's 28 years old.
Send those guys somewhere where they can win. Do them a favor.
yeah.
Okay. Who's sleeping well? Aaron Donald. He gets to escape after the season if we're GM. If we're GM, we're sending Aaron to like Pittsburgh or Philly, somewhere closer to home. No, I'm who's sleeping well? Let's see. Justin Herbert, I think, sleeping pretty well. He might get one or two targets back this weekend. He always plays well against Kansas City. I think they're sitting in a spot where nobody's going to give him a chance, even with the things that we talked about. And they're at home. And his ribs probably feel better. The throws he made the other night, that looked more like it in some spots.
Yeah. Keenan,
I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, Bandy.
Yeah.
Sit down, Bandy. We got Mike Williams coming back.
Yeah,
we got Keenan Allen.
Yep.
Where will the AFC Championship game be played?
It's a great question.
Let's see. That's a really good question, Steve. God damn, I like the way you think.
Probably
I'm going to say
Kansas City.
Chiefs are currently your 1 seed by a game.
Over the Finns. So
And 5 teams,
five
6 teams have 3 losses.
3 losses. I think if you look at the Kansas City Chiefs schedule the rest of the way.
Texans, 2 against the Broncos.
Right.
Rams.
This is a big game for them. Big
Enormous.
game.
Mm-hmm.
Big game. They're going to win 27-21.
Wow.
And I'm going to push.
Wait.
Is it 6.5? It's 5.5. No, I'm going to lose. I'm going to push because I bought the half point. I just said it. I said the score. That's going to be the fucking score, dude.
That'll make for a great social.
Yeah, but the yeah, exactly. And who cares? The Chiefs, I think with their schedule the rest of the way, the Super Bowl probably to get there it probably goes through Kansas City.
Week 15, Buffalo hosts Miami. That's probably a big one.
That's a huge game. San Francisco's going to play Miami here coming up. There's a few of these games. The Jets the second time around. Like Miami's been playing really well, but I do want to see. I want to see some of these heavy hitter games late in the season, and same thing for the Jets. The Jets are rolling and all that, but you got to beat the Patriots. There's some unanswered questions.
Jets season on the line this week.
Man, don't sleep on the Ravens. They don't play anybody the rest of the way. That motherfucker could go through Baltimore. Stanford Steve.
Balmer, that's how they say it.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
I don't know if either of those correct.
Balmer is
Must not
correct.
spend much time in Baltimore.
You can ask Scott.
All right.
Scott Van Pelt.
We'll tell you to take care now and wish you luck.
I'll let you guys go.
With Stanford Steve, we're talking sports.
Take care, Steve.
See you guys. Love you guys.
Steve.
Love you, Steve. Listen to the full podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and other podcast streaming platforms. Wherever you want to get the podcast, you can get the podcast. Pretty simple. New episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. Podcasts get pretty wild. This is real tame.